Hey, what's up, guys? Kyle Gallen back from the video, and today I want to do my What If series. What if Naruto and Boruto were brothers? Part 3. So, in the last part, in part 2, we see Naruto actually. We do see them actually trying to graduate there. Naruto and Boruto are trying to graduate there. Um, Mostly they failed Naruto and Boruto there. Mikazuki was telling them to steal the secret scroll there. So they applied. Mostly Boruto's like, I don't know about that and stuff like that. And then Naruto's like, come on there. And he's like, all right there. And he's like, technically Boruto really wanted to pass there, all that stuff. Um, Mostly they steal the secret scroll there. Yeah. Technically Naruto still gets his shadow clones. He's like, oh, that's my war jutsu and stuff like that. Um, Mostly Boruto, he gets the Gil Palm. He gets the Gil Palm there, and mostly Naruto and Boruto are technically doing it, mostly training it there. Aruka technically comes in. He's like, "Oh, I caught you, Naruto and Boruto." He's like, and mostly Boruto's like, "Oh, busted," and stuff like that, because I might see him do that stuff there. And then Mikazuki was actually comes over and he's like, you don't need to listen to Aruka there. And he's like, both of you have something inside you. And then mostly Naruto and Boruto are like, what's inside of us and stuff? And he's like, both of you have the nine tails inside of you and stuff like that. The one to destroy your village, you both have the nine tails inside of you and stuff like that. And then mostly Boruto and Naruto were kind of freaking out. Mostly Naruto was mostly freaking out, and then mostly Boruto's like, "You bastard!" He's like, "You're lying" and stuff. He's like, "Yeah, Boruto, you're the one that also has it inside you, also." And he's like, "Damn it!" and stuff. He's like, and then mostly Naruto runs off. He's like, "Damn it!" He's like, "What you did that for?" And so he was mostly chasing Naruto down and stuff, and mostly he catches them up there. They beat up Mikazuki there, and then he's like, "Congratulations, you both pass." So that was in part 2. So it was going to part 3. What if Naruto and Boruto were brothers? So we have to start off um, with the the team selections there, but we're not really doing the team selections right away. So we're gonna get to the Komohamaru stuff there. Technically for the Komohamaru stuff there, so technically we do see Boruto and Naruto mostly taking their pictures there. Boruto might look normal in this. I might see Boruto's picture might actually look normal. Naruto still looks like a clown there, and then he's like mostly the Thorough Kage there is like saying, he's like, well, we've been seeing the pictures there, and you kind of mostly looked like a clown there, and mostly Boruto was like, what the fuck are you doing? He was actually saying, he's like, what are you doing? They're looking like a clown in your pictures, Naruto. He's like, well, come on, Boruto, and he's like, and stuff like that, and he's like, and then mostly Boruto is like thinking, he's like, really? This is my older brother acting like a fucking clown and stuff like that. And then and then he's like, you need to retake your picture. And then he's like, really? I have to retake my picture there? And then he's like, and then mostly Boruto's like, come on, just retake it there. It's not a big deal. He's like, oh, really? You guys don't think about me. Take this, sexy jutsu. He does his sexy jutsu there. And then mostly Aruka's like, then he flips over the his chair there, and mostly Boruto's like, what? He's like, Boruto's like, what there? And he's like, haha, I got you. And then Boruto's like, why in the idea is being stupid like that? There, and then he gets a freaking airful from Boruto there. So freaking Komohamaru comes in. He's like, "Oh, challenge me" and stuff like that, and then he's like, and then most of the third guy's like, "Oh, great, my grandson there, another fucking headache." There, he's like, "Another headache there." That's what he was saying, and then and he's like, "What are you doing there?" and stuff like that. And then mostly he's like mostly Boruto's like, "Who's this little shrimp there?" And then he's like, "Well, that's my grandson there and stuff." And then he's like, "I'm the grandson of the third Hokage," and stuff like that. "You need to listen to me there." And then mostly Naruto gets pissed. He punches him like he does in the original series, like, "Believe it," and stuff. And then Boruto's like, "Wait, why in the heck you punched him there?" He's like, "Oh well, he was mocking me and stuff like that." So technically, there the guy with the glasses comes in. He's like, "Ugh." He's like, "Oh no, grandson, you can't hang out with these two there," and stuff like that. And he looks at him. He's like, "Both the foxes are here." He's like, and stuff like that. So Boruto and Naruto technically leave. Technically Boruto is saying like, "Well," he's like, "I have to do." He's like, "You need to retake your picture there. Whenever the time you want to go to the photo booth, just tell me so we can get in, so we can get your official license there and stuff." So then he's like, "Later," and stuff. So Boruto leaves. Technically Konohamaru there follows Naruto around like he does in the original series. I do not see that changing there. I do not see that changing there at all. I think Boruto doesn't really join in that, but he technically Naruto follows him around there and stuff like that. That still happens. I might still see that happening there. The guys with the glasses there. He's like, "You need to stay away from him there." He's like, "What are you gonna do, you little nine-tailed fox?" and stuff like that. And then he's like, "Stay away there." And then mostly Naruto's like, "Shadow Clone Jutsu," and then mostly coming out with clones there and stuff. And he's like, "Bring it on there!" And then he does his sexy jutsu, makes him flip. That still happens. I still see that happening. Konohamaru was saying this day we're technically rivals there. And then he's like, also, I'm also rivals with Boruto. I think he might say that there. So that plays out the same. After that, there we go to the team selections there. The team selections there. We do see Naruto and Boruto actually, mostly sitting right by each other there, but they're also sitting by Sasuke. Mostly Sakura there. She's like, "Get away out of there, Naruto and Boruto." And then technically Naruto is actually doing it, and then Sakura, and he's kind of mostly Boruto there, being the honest. He's like, "Oh, okay, fine, but sit there. I don't really care," and stuff. Technically Naruto is like, "Ah, come on," and stuff like that. And the bump that still happens. They're like in the original, where he bumps into it there. Technically Boruto's like, "What the heck?" and stuff. And that's where it was going with it. So the team selections there. So you guys actually picked what teams Boruto should be on. And I guess Team 7 won. Team 7 technically won there. So I'm going to mostly put a 4-man squad on Team 7 because you guys actually wanted that. So I guess I can actually argue about this, saying maybe Boruto was actually had the same grades as Sasuke there. So he has the same grade as Sasuke. And then he's like, and then he was mostly reading the thing. He's like, Team 7 there. Naruto Uzumaki. And then mostly Boruto's like, "Great, Naruto, you got on a team there." Sakura Haruno. And she's like, "Really?" and stuff. I have to team up with him. Boruto Uzumaki. They're like, "Wait, what?" There, and he's like, "Wait, we're on the same team." "Right," and stuff. He's like, "My brother's on the same team with me." "Yeah," and stuff. And then they're like, a 4th member, Sasuke Uchiha, and stuff. And then they're like, "Wait, 4 members? Well, I thought," and then mostly actually they explained, they're like, all the other teams have 3. Why Team 7 has 4 members? They actually said, saying, well, it's because technically, because Naruto and Boruto are brothers there, we will, the third Hokage actually accepts a 4th member on Team 7. So technically did that, and they actually had all the other teams there. They announced there. That still happens like in the original series. So, when Akashi was mostly running late there, that still happens. Mostly Naruto puts a racer on the board, and mostly Boruto's like, you don't really want to do that, Naruto. He's like, this is gonna be a good trick. This is what he gets for coming in late, and mostly the racer bonks him in the head, Kashi in the head there, and then he's like, ha ha, I got you, and then mostly he's like, oh, a clown there, a guy who doesn't care, a girl, and then mostly she's like, I'm sorry and stuff like that, and a girl who's honestly too worried there, and another guy who honestly is kind of getting pretty mad. He has a temper issue. He's like, oh, what did I think of you? And then mostly Akashi was actually saying that there, and then mostly they had their dreams and things there. So how mostly Naruto, we all know about Naruto there. I think Naruto will still be there. Mostly he wants to protect his brother. He's like names your thing. He's like, my name is Naruto Uzumaki, and then he's like, I like ramen, and I like the want to be one day to be the Hokage there. I also want to protect my brother there. What's Boruto? We all know he likes hamburgers, but there's no hamburgers in the original series of Naruto, so I think he might like ramen also. He kind of has the same goals as Naruto there. I'm gonna say he actually has the same goals as Naruto there. Boruto does, but he actually said he doesn't want to be a Hokage. He wants to be strong there. He wants to be really strong there. So that's what technically he's like. I want to help my brother there to seek his goals there to be Hokage there. I might see Boruto saying there. And then Sakura there, saying, yeah, Sasuke, all that stuff. Man, I still see that happening. Same with the Sasuke there, and mostly he's like, okay, he's like, we're gonna start our training tomorrow. He's like, do not eat anything or you will puke. And technically Boruto and Naruto there go home there, and they're like, we need to. He's like, we need to train there. We don't know what type of things are. So technically Naruto and Boruto actually train. This is the one thing Naruto and Boruto actually have there versus Sasuke and Sakura there. They actually have a training session there, and they can actually train with each other there, learning each other's jutsus and stuff like that. I think they kind of learned a little bit there. Boruto is saying, he's like, why he said don't eat there. Boruto is saying, let's eat something really, really light there, like a granola bar or something like that. So the Naruto is like, wait, why in the heck there? He's gonna make us weak and vulnerable and stuff like that, and that's what his plans there and stuff. So Naruto and Boruto there, they don't eat food. I think they will eat food there. I think they might have breakfast there, or not breakfast. They might have dinner, but they're also in the next day there. They might carry like a granola bar in their pockets there. They might take two for soccer and Sasuke there, and then they're like, and before Akashi arrives there, he's like, guys, eat these granola bars there. They're like, wait, why we want to eat them? He's like, trust me and stuff. And that's what Boruto said, and mostly Sakura and Sasuke ate the granola bars. So, and then he's like, he's like, I was mostly going into a nice walk there in the park. And then they're like, you liar and stuff. And then he's like, okay, try to take these bills from me there. So technically the training there, that's where I think I'm gonna I think we have, well, that's where I think where I'm gonna end it there. The next part there will be technically the bell training there. So yes, the bell training will be the next part. So yeah. So yep, comment, rate, my response to the bros. We like Rock Rose, please craft the notification on Super Blizzard and live streams. Comment response to the bros. Like out, add your piece.